Okay, 7th graders.
Yep.
The last section of chapter 8 is on graphing inequalities. Okay? So now we're going to be working with equations that don't have an equal sign. They're going to have one of these symbols, a greater than sign, or a less than sign, or a greater than or equal to sign, or a less than or equal to sign. Okay? Now, we solved these before, and you learned that if you're solving, you have to reverse the sign. Okay? When you were solving and graphing them, you had to use either a solid dot if it was greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, and you had to use an open dot if it was just the greater than sign or less than sign, right? Well, in the same way, when you're graphing it on a coordinate plane, if the symbol is the less than sign or the greater than sign, you use a solid line instead of a solid dot. And if it is greater than or less than, but not equal to, doesn't have the equal to line underneath it, then you use a dashed line when you draw that line. Okay? And then we're going to be working with a point. Once we draw the line, we're going to be working with a point and see if that point is true. And that's where we're going to start on this lesson, is checking the point 0, 0, called the origin. That's right where these two lines meet, is point 0, 0. It's called the origin on a coordinate plane. Okay? And what we're going to do is, just like when you check your solution, you put in the points x and y into your equation to see if that made it true, if that was the solution to both equations. We're going to check 0, 0 in the inequality and see if the inequality, if that 0, 0 point is on the shaded part. Alright? So you simply put in 0, 0 into the equation and check and see if it makes it true. So let's start there. Go to your worksheet that I gave you. There it is. So it says, well, first, the first part is simple. Look at the symbol. Tell whether you should put a dashed line or a solid line on it. So, like number 1, the symbol is the greater than or equal to sign. That should be a what?
Solid.
Solid line. So you just write solid. Number 2 is the less than sign, so that should have a dashed line. A dashed. Pretty cool, Sam. Okay? Pretty simple, right? You look at the symbol and you decide what line you should use. Okay? Yep. And that's the first concept here. Dashed or solid. Okay? So, fill those in. Let's go on to number 7. This is the next skill that you have to use. You have to tell whether the region containing the origin would be shaded in the graph of each inequality. So you write yes or no if this point, if the coordinates fit into that equation and make it true. Okay? So, how do you tell if something is a solution? Yep, do the math. Put the number in to the equation and simplify it. So go ahead with the first one. 4 times x, x is 0, minus 5 times 0. Is that greater than or equal to 3?
No.
0 is less than. So that's false. this is no. Sam?
Do we have to write the equation in the line when we're working on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Number 8, is 0 less than or equal to 2/3 times 0 plus 2? Is 0 less than 2?
Yeah.
True. Yep. Yes. So this one works. Number 9. 2 times 0 greater than 3 minus 2 times 0. So is 0 greater than 3? Is 0 greater than 3?
No.
No. And number 10. 0 less than or equal to -5?
Yeah.
Nope. No. -5 is less, isn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking 5 for some reason.
Yep. Any questions? Those are the first two concepts. Okay? Go to the other side. Now we're going to use those concepts and we're going to graph the inequality. We're going to use the solid line or dashed line. And then we're going to select a point that's on one side of the line and put that in to see if it works. Alright? So if you want to follow along in your notes, it outlines this procedure for you. Lesson 8.8. So, start with the first one. X is less than y. X is less than y. Now, what we have to do when we're graphing is we have to look at this symbol as an equal sign. What if it said y is equal to x? Then how would we graph it? Yeah, how would we graph y equals x or y equals x plus 0? Sam?
That's what I was going to say, plus 0.
Yeah, and then what would you mark first?
0.
0. Because that's the y-intercept. And what's the slope? What's in front of the x? Is it a 0? Or how many x's are there, Jordan? 1. So you go up 1, over 1. Up 1, over 1. Down 1, left 1. Down 1, left 1. Okay? Now, don't draw the line yet.
Wait, I just guess.
No. Now we have to figure out which line to use. Okay? Which line? You have to use a dashed. Why? Garrett?
Because it's not, it's a not,
It's
a dashed mark.
just the less than sign.
Yeah.
Okay? It doesn't have the equal to sign underneath it, so it's similar to an open dot when you were graphing those on just a number line. It's similar to an open dot. Open dot or dashed line. We have to use a dashed line. Make sure you put arrows on it, but leave a little space in between the dashes. Okay? Next, we have to figure out which area or which side of the line is the solution side. Okay? Which side or which of these points would make the equation true? Only one side of the line is going to make the equation true. Okay? Now, you don't guess. What you do is you select a point on one side of the line and then see if that makes the equation true. Now, you can't select 0, 0 because that's on the line. We have to select a point that's on one side. Either the rightish side or the leftish side. Okay? I like to use positive numbers when I'm selecting these. You don't have to, but let's just say that we picked this point right here. What are the coordinates of that point? That's on a side of the line. It's on the rightish side. The coordinates are 2, 1, right? 2, 1. Are you with me? Yep, that's the point. That's the coordinates, 2, 1. So now we put those into our original equation. 1 is less than 2. Is that true?
Yeah.
That's where we, since y is, 1 is the y and 2 is the x, 1 is less than 2, that's true, or yes. So we shade, and you just draw a little shading on this side that contains the point that is true. Okay? You shade the true side of the line. Alright? Now, you can pick any point you want on the graph. I picked this one. What if you picked this one? Or this one? What if you picked 0, 1? What would you find? It'd be false, wouldn't it? Let's put that in. Let me show you. If you picked, I'll put that in a different color so you don't confuse it. You pick that point, 0, 1, and then you put those numbers into the equation. So y is the 1, x is the 0. Is that true? 1 is less than 0?
No.
No. Now, does that mean you have to pick a different point?
Yeah.
On the
No,
other
it
side of the
doesn't.
line.
You just shade the other side of the line. If one side doesn't work, then the other side is the true side. Okay? We just found the false side. Well, use your logic. If this is the false side, this is the true side.
It's only a 50-50 chance.
Right, it's a 50-50 chance. Yep. So you shade the true side. Great.
So is the line then on, would the dots on the line have to fit the equation?
The dots on the line, would the dots on the line be part of this solution? Would that make it true? In other words, if you put 0, 0, is 0 less than 0? It's false, isn't it?
So the
That's
line-
because the line is a dashed line, or it doesn't have the equal to sign. If this did have the equal to sign, then the points on the line would work. But since it doesn't have an equal to sign, the dashed line shows points that do not work. Alright? Let's do another one, okay? Let's graph this one. Start with the dots, and let's change it to slope-intercept form. So solve it for y. What would you have to do to solve this for y? And we treat this just like an equal sign, so you solve it the same way. So you have to move the x over to the other side. Get rid of it on the left side, and put it on the other side. Okay? So what would you add? Add negative x, yep. Plus negative x. And y equals negative x plus 2. Right? Then, what's the y-intercept? Garrett? 2? What's the slope? It's the same as the one on your quiz. You've been working with this slope. I know you know this, Max.
-1/1.
Good. -1/1. Down 1/1. Mark the points. And then, which line? Again, you have to ask yourself, which line do you use? Which line, Amelia? Regular line. Is it a solid line or a dashed line? It's a solid line, yep. So draw the solid line. Now, we're not done yet, because this is an inequality. It's not an equals. It doesn't have an equal sign. So we have to choose a point. In this case, can we choose the origin? Yeah, because it's on a side. So put in 0, 0. Now, you can put the 0, 0 into either one. I like to put it into the original one, just in case I solved it wrong. So, 0 plus 0 is less than or equal to 2. Is that true? True? Yeah. 0 is less than 2. So we shade that side of the line. That's the true side. Is this making sense? All right. For tomorrow, you may skip 5 and 6. Okay. Actually skip the bottom section, so there's not much homework, I guess. Just a couple of practice problems. Okay.